TEKS 2b point slope formula. So today we're going to talk about the point slope formula. So it's a formula that we can use to form a linear equation. So let's first look at the note part, and I'm going to write out all the formulas that we're going to be talking about today. So point slope formula is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And standard form is ax plus by equal to c. And something important about standard form is that a can never be a negative number. So a cannot be negative. Okay. So let's look at some examples. On example 1, all we're going to do is take these 2 points, and we're first going to start with point slope. So the order that we're going to be putting these in is point slope, so that's 1, slope-intercept form 2, and standard form 3. Okay, so let's look at example 1. So example 1, first, before we can find anything, we need to find our m. So we need to find our slope. And remember, to find slope, we do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Remember, these points can be labeled as x1, y1, x2, y2. So if I was to plug this in, I have 2 minus 4 over 1 minus 3. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. So this 1 right here is my m value, my slope. And then I can use my x1 and my y1 point to plug into my formula, my point slope formula. So I have y minus y1, which is 4, equals 1, because that's my m value, and then x minus 3, which is my x1 value. And then what I'm going to do is now turn it into slope-intercept form. So this first form right here, this is point slope. So that could be one possible answer, one possible form. Okay, now I'm going to turn it into slope-intercept form by getting y by itself. So I have y minus 4 is equal to, I'm going to distribute this 1 in, 1 times x, which is x, 1 times negative 3, which is negative 3. Then I'm going to add 4 to both sides, and I get y is equal to x plus 1. This form right here is slope-intercept form. Okay, and then I'm going to go one step further and put it in standard form. So notice in standard form, my x's and my y's are on the same side. So that's what I need to try to do. So what I can do is I can just subtract this x to the other side. So it could become negative x plus y equals 1. But remember, over here, I said that a can never be negative, and a is the number in front of x. So right now, the number in front of x is a negative 1. So what I need to do is I need to multiply every single term by negative 1. So I'm going to multiply this by negative 1, this by negative 1, and this by negative 1. So when I simplify this, negative times a negative is a positive x. Negative 1 times y is negative y, equals 1 times negative 1, which is -1. So now this answer right here is in standard form. So standard. So these are my three answers: point slope, slope intercept, and standard. Okay. Let's look at example 2. Example 2 is going to be very similar, so I want you guys to take a moment and try example 2 on your own. Okay, let's check what you guys got. So remember, our first step is to use the slope formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Remember, we have to label our points. So then I have 4 minus 3 over -5 minus 9. 4 minus 3 is 1. -5 minus 9 is -14. So that means my slope is 1 over -14. Okay, so now it's time to use the point slope formula. So my y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. I'm going to plug in all the points I know. So y minus y1, which is 3, equals 1 over -14, and x minus x1, which is 9. Okay, so right here is my point slope. Okay, then I need to simplify this to make it into y-intercept form. So I'm going to distribute. So I have y minus 3 is equal to 1 over -14x plus 9 over 14. Okay, then I need to add 3. Add 3. So then I get y equals 1 over -14x plus, let's see, 9 over 14 can't be reduced. So just go ahead and put that in your calculator. 9 over 14 plus 3 over 1. Let me see what I get on my calculator. So I get, let's see what it would be as a fraction. So this would be the same as writing 9 over 14 plus 42 over 14. 9 plus 42 is 51. So this is y equals 1 over -14x plus 51 over 14. So this is going to be the slope intercept. Okay, and then from here we have to put it into standard, okay, by making sure the x's and y's are on the same side. So, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to multiply everything by -14 to get rid of the fraction that's on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply everything by -14. So that means I have -14y. And then 1 over -14 times -14 is just x, so equals x. And then this is going to be -51. So then when I, let's see, subtract x over, actually instead of -14, I'm going to multiply it by +14. You'll see why in a second. So that means the signs are just changing. So that means when I add my x over, I have x plus 14y equals 51. And this is in standard form. The reason I did that was because if I didn't multiply by a positive 14, it would be a positive x, and when I subtract that x over, it would end up being a negative x like we did in the first problem, and then we'd have to multiply everything by -1. So I just got rid of that extra step. So point slope right here, first answer. Slope intercept right here, standard form. Okay. And the reason why we're putting this in all these forms is because on the test, they might put it in one of these three forms, so we have to know how to be able to put it in all three. Okay, example 3. Example 3 already gives us the slope, so we get to skip that step and go straight to our point slope formula. So remember, this is m, this is x1, this is y1. So y minus y1 equals m, parentheses x minus x1. Y minus 5 equals 2x minus 4. So I just plugged in my numbers. Then I'm going to simplify this. Y minus 5 is equal to 2 times x, which is 2x, and 2 times -4, which is -8. Add 5 to both sides. I get y equals 2x plus, minus 3. Okay? Then to move the x's to the same side as the y's, minus 2x minus 2x, I get negative 2x plus y equals -3. I'm going to times everything by -1 to get rid of that negative in the front. So I get -1 times -2x, which is 2x, -1 times y, negative y, equals -3 times 3, which is 3. So here I have my point slope. Okay, then I have my slope intercept. Then I have my standard. So when they give us the slope, it's a lot easier because we don't have to deal with finding the slope first, so it goes a lot faster. Okay, example 4. Go and try example 4 on your own. Okay, so let's try to work it out. Remember, this is m, x1, y1. So y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. Y minus 4 is equal to -1/2, x minus a -6. Remember, when we have minus a negative, that turns into plus a positive. So let's go ahead and simplify and distribute that -1/2 in. So I have y minus 4 is equal to -1/2 x minus 6 times 1/2 is 3. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, and then we need to add the 4 over. So then I have y equals -1/2 x plus 1, because -3 plus 4 is 1. And then my last step is to get all the x's and y's are on the same side. So plus 1/2 x plus 1/2 x. So I get 1/2 x plus y is equal to 1. Okay? So what I'm going to do now, because even though x and y is on the same side, I don't want that fraction right there. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2. And when I multiply everything by 2, what's going to happen is that fraction is going to go away. So 2 times 1/2 is 1, so I have x. 2 times y is 2y plus 2y. And 1 times 2 is 2 equals 2. So then I have my point slope answer. Then I have my slope intercept answer. And then I have my standard form, standard. Okay.